Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome back. We're back here with Drew reacting to some more Worlds. What's up, Drew?
What's going on? We're getting down to the end. This
Yeah.
is quarterfinals reactions.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right. So first up, we got the NRG. So it went from bottom to top here. These the first games, second games, third games, fourth games. So
yep.
yeah, let's start off with the reaction to NRG versus Weibo. I'm pretty sure we both predicted Weibo, probably, right? Is that correct?
Yes, I think
Okay.
we said. I can't remember if you said. I think I said 3-1
Okay. Okay.
Weibo, or maybe three. I think I said 3-1, and you might have said the same or 3-0. I can't remember.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah,
Something
but we
like
were
that.
definitely both Weibo favored.
Yeah, yeah. But anyways, this first game, so the draft was kind of weird when I was trying to go like for the level of like.
Yeah.
Anyways, basically like if you go back here when you try to look at the draft, they're all in the wrong place. So I'm just gonna kind of go to
Oh,
this
weird.
and kind of look at yeah from there. This is a good, not too bad of a spot here, but I'm just gonna go into the game so it's a little easier to see. But basically, we got Doklazon Renekton versus the Shies on Cassante. Got contracts on Viego, interestingly enough, and then Weiwei's on Rel. Yeah, Palafox on Oriana, with Chaohu on Nico, FBI's on Senna, Light is on Aphelios, Ignar's on Tom Kinch, and then Crisp is on Milio, actually. So, did you have any thoughts on this draft yet?
Um. Well, I I
I'll show you the bands.
liked the yeah, I like the respect band of the jargon away from contracts.
Yeah,
I think yeah, after he put how he showed up on that against G2, you definitely want to ban it.
yeah, he's popping off.
I thought this was a pretty favorable because this was the first quarterfinals match, so I thought it was pretty favorable for NRG.
Mm,
But in hindsight, I think this like overall in quarterfinals, we saw that Felios might be a bit stronger than maybe people thought.
yeah, definitely.
So like looking back at it now, I think it's a little bit more of an even draft. And I do think Milio is pretty annoying to play into like Kenj or Nectin. I think Milio is like a good pick to negate a lot of the stuns and stuff that
Yeah, CC plus the
Energy
heal
has
is really
built in.
nice.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think we've seen Milio all that often, so I
No?
like that pick as well.
Yeah, it's pretty smart. Overall, I'm not. I think Viego can work sometimes, but I'm not the biggest fan of it overall in the meta right now. But I think it's better than some of like the other like lower priority picks. But I think he's like between the best picks and the worst picks pretty much. So I
Yeah.
don't really like the pick that much. And then I'm just pretty funny. I was watching like I think it was I Will Dominate and like squad from EU basically talking about Dokla's Renekton, and they're like, "Please don't pick Renekton, please don't pick Renekton," and he does end up picking Renekton here, which is not the best, but we did get a pretty decent power pick in Oriana, and then we got our Senna Tomkins, which was not too bad. Obviously, we banned the Rumble, which I don't really think we should have. I think we should have first picked Rumble, because I think
Yeah.
he's number one, and then try to get Driver number two. But we ended up banning it, so we're too scared of it. I guess we're not probably not confident enough or something. Confident rather. And then of course we didn't pick our Vi until like our jungle until second round, so they get to ban Vi also, which is pretty much contracts like number one to right now I'd say the Jarvan and the Vi. So it was kind of question mark there. I understand you get Senna Tom, but I don't think they're gonna pick Tom if you get Senna. Maybe they'll ban it, but I don't know. You could just pick
Yeah.
Tom Kinch and then not pick Senna and see how it goes, but I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's the maybe the downside with the second time strategy is teams feel like
You have to pick it.
they're kind of
But
like you have to get them together, even though I don't think you do, but a lot of teams consider them like a package deal.
yeah, and I mean, they might ban it in the second round, but why not just save the whole pick for 4-5 and just
Yeah.
get your
Yeah.
power
Fair.
picks in the second trap part? So I
Yeah.
don't know. It was kind of weird. Also, I think we would have rather had Cassante maybe even
Yeah.
than some of these other picks, but we'll see. Xiao who like looked pretty good on the Nico, and the Rel is such a strong champion as well, and like you said, light on the Aphelios was pretty nice actually. At first, I thought it wasn't gonna go that well, but he ended up scaling just really like hard.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
I will say this first game we actually were ahead for most of the game. I
Oh,
think.
for sure. We
Um,
even though this was a spoilers energy loss game one, but
yeah,
it was it it like I didn't feel I actually
too
was
bad.
more optimistic going in the game too because I thought Weibo was gonna just stomp us, and the fact that we were winning for a good chunk and then put up a fight, I was like, okay, like we might have a chance here because this
Yeah,
first one was
like
not a stomp at all.
even though our draft wasn't like super good, we still were about to win the game. So
Yeah, for sure.
it was a pretty close one, but Weibo ends up taking it, like you said. And then let's move on to our next game.
Do
We
we have
got
to?
no.
I just kind of want to live in a world where we just played that one game and nothing,
Yeah,
no other
I
games
mean
followed.
that would be okay. I'd be okay with
Yeah.
that. So once again, same bands on our
Yep.
three at least. I think it's the same bands on there as well.
Yep.
Um, but we end up getting the Cassante and we got the Vi, which is a lot smarter this time around. Of course, they banned the Senna in the second round, so that's why we first picked it. Like we got it 2 and 3 in the first game, I guess.
Yep. 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 Yep.
But I don't think Kaisa All Star was that bad really overall. It seemed pretty good.
Ooh, that's
Xiaohu
good.
did really good on the Nico this game, I remember. And then same thing with Light, just scaling out of control
Yep. They
a bit
feel
here.
uh they feel really comfortable with that Ophelio Smilio like duo.
Yeah.
Because they picked it here in game two and it looked just as good. Like it seems
Yeah, just
a
helps
really solid
Aphelios
pick.
like not die. So
Yep. 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 Yep.
it works.
And the shy Aatrox is pretty scary.
It's pretty
That's not a
classic.
that's not a normal Aatrox coming at you. That's a different kind of Aatrox.
Yeah, he did do pretty good on the Aatrox. I will say he ran it down a few times for sure, but
Yeah, the
overall he
classic.
is
Yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Any
I
more
think they
thoughts on
got
this one,
really.
or?
If I remember, this was the game they got like really far ahead, and then yeah, he just started kind of. He just started like running it down, but it just didn't. It just didn't matter at that point. They were up by quite a bit.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they like low key stomped NRG in this one, which is kind of rough to see. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, it ended up, of course, Weibo takes the game too. So now they're on match point already. Um, and then we get game of three here. Same thing. All the picks are out of order. It's kind of weird this whole match, but
yeah,
um,
it's weird.
either way, we do get the Rumble first pick, which I'm like, yes. I was like,
Yep,
okay, let's
happy
reverse
with that.
sweep. Let's do it.
Sure.
And then we go Ezreal Karma. I'm like, I mean, I guess it's okay, but like, I would prefer something better. There's still plenty of picks open. They must have been like annoyed that they lost as the Kaisa or something because it was open for them. So, and they banned the Aphelios, so it's not like they could just Boibo could just run it
Yeah.
back.
The
But
only thing I can think is they saw the Caitlyn on Red too, and they realized they were going into like a very poke heavy lane.
yeah,
And I think Ezreal Karma is like a pretty like classic counter. And not I don't even call it a counter because I think the Caitlyn lane is stronger than the Ezreal Karma lane. But people find that you can at least kind of
it's like pretty
survive with the Ezreal.
survivable. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But to your point, I don't know. I think it's a
There's
weaker
better
lane than the
picks.
Caitlyn lane,
Yeah,
and I don't know that it's gonna be it's not better late game either, so it's like it's yeah, I did not feel super confident when I saw that.
yeah. It's kind of rough. And from there, I mean, I don't think the Yone is too bad, but I think probably in a like a really important game, like you're about to be knocked out of Worlds game, uh,
Yeah.
maybe go something a little bit safer. But I understand. They did end up banning both Oriana and Nico here, so that's not too surprising. He goes to Yone, but there are a few other picks. Like I think his Silas is pretty good overall. That would have been a pretty decent pick here.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah, yeah, for sure.
how. Yeah, I don't know how well it does into Jace particularly, but I'm pretty sure he picked first. So
It's
I don't know.
not it's not good into Jace, but it is really, really good into Maokai teams.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like there was some decent ults. I don't think
Yeah,
Gnarl wouldn't be too bad either. So I don't
that's
know.
like that's actually like a throwback from I think last year's Worlds where Maokai was kind of
Yeah,
around, and people realized
just pick
if you're
Silas.
if
No,
you're
we
the
both
team
have
with
it.
Silas,
Yeah,
yeah, you just have a better, more powerful Maokai. So
literally.
um, yeah, I actually think this could have been a definite possible Silas angle.
I think it could have been, but I think people are just too scared to pick Silas blind. Is probably what I'm guessing.
Me,
But
fair.
I
Yeah,
still think like it's do or die here. You have to. I don't
yeah,
know. I know his Zion's not bad. Definitely did perform on it in playoffs a little bit. So, but
yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of weird. And then contracts going with the Sejuani when they're already kind of low damage and pretty, I wouldn't say low range, but like having a melee mid. It's nice for Sejuani to have two melees in their solo lanes, but at the same time, I think we need a little bit more damage. Like the Vi is still open here. Um, like I said, I think we should have picked Jarvan in the first round instead of Ezreal Karma because there's
Mm,
no way they're picking Karma, right? They might ban it if you pick the Ezreal first, but why don't I just go Ezreal Karma here? I don't think they're banning either of those
yeah,
champs if they don't know that you're gonna
yeah. I'm
fall back into
surprised they
that.
didn't
So
lock in. They didn't lock in Jarvan and get that Jarvan Rumble combo.
yeah,
I'm surprised they didn't do that in the
that's the
first
main thing. Like
rotation.
that's so big if they get Jarvan Rumble, even if they don't get like
Yeah,
Orianna or something.
yeah.
So I don't
So
know.
I don't know, questionable, but it definitely they had an idea and it definitely did not work out in this third
Yeah,
game.
this was a pretty rough game for them as well. I think there were some glimpses of hope, but overall they like not getting that Jarvan pretty much hurt them a lot. So I
Yeah,
don't know. But either way, Weibo ends up taking this game, which gets a 3-0 on NRG, which is so sad after seeing them do well at the end. But of the end of Swiss stage, I mean. But you have any final thoughts on this team or this match?
no, I think it was like a disappointing way to go out for sure,
Yeah,
especially because I thought Weibo was favored, but I thought there was an okay chance that Energy could show up and do something here. But a lot of people I think will overreact to them getting 3-0'd, but it's also uh, I think important to remember like if you think all the way back to the start of the year, there were really not high expectations for this group of players at all.
yeah, that's fair.
Um, and they made it all the way to quarterfinals. So I think after some time goes by, people will look back and this is a pretty successful year, I think, if you're an RG.
Oh
So
yeah,
um,
100%. I don't want people to be like down on them or anything. They
yeah,
definitely did really good this year overall, especially at
yep,
the end. So definitely big props to
for
them.
sure,
Hope
for
they
sure.
stay together personally, but I don't know. Maybe you could try to make some changes. I don't know how you would
Yeah,
really
it'll be
change it.
interesting. It'll be interesting to see what energy because they'll be going into their first off season now owning a team, whereas like this time
True.
they inherited like CLG. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see like what they want to do or like what their idea is. So
Yeah, definitely.
we'll definitely be watching that closely.
They all looked pretty down after this one for sure, and I understandably so,
Yeah,
of course. But I just really hope they don't like start getting like like getting upset with each other or like whatever because of what happened. Hope they can just
yeah,
bounce back and maybe return as a full roster. I don't know though. Uh, but yeah, all right, that's the final things on that. We have let's go to the here. Let's check out the other games real fast. So we got Genji versus BLG. The game score ended up being 3-2 for BLG, actually knocking Genji. The like people pretty much thought they were favorites with JDG here. Um, they get knocked out in the quarterfinals here as in game five. Um, what's your
yeah.
thoughts on this one?
Um, is very interesting. So I think BLG is a very good team.
Yeah,
So I didn't think it was like impossible for them to win. I thought it would be pretty close.
yeah,
But I thought that there were like definite games and moments that it seemed like some of the players that you would think, like Chovy specifically, would show up like because he's like the best player on the team. But
hmm
it felt like there were moments where he kind of like crumbled under the pressure potentially, or just like didn't make the plays that I had kind of seen him make all year. So
Hmm.
um, it was like I would say I was like disappointed for Gen G, not because they lost, because I think there was a good chance BLG could beat them, but just maybe the way they lost some of those games was I didn't think like they put their best foot forward. Um, if that makes sense. So it's kind of my take on this
Yeah,
one.
yeah, they definitely underperformed, I would say, but BLG played really well. Genji played pretty well overall. Um, but BLG
It,
ends up taking the series, knocking out Genji here. Um, kind of unfortunate, but that's cool though. I mean, Billy definitely deserved to go far. I'd be
yeah,
kind of sad to
Ben,
see them
Ben is
knocked out
like a
as well.
super fun player to root for. Ben is
Yeah,
like a crazy person in the top lane, so
yeah,
definitely fun that we'll get to see more games from him.
definitely. He played really well this series too.
Yeah,
Didn't he get
yeah, for sure.
Did he get Jax this series? I thought he
I
got
think
like
he got it
like
once. I'm pretty sure,
oh okay. Okay.
maybe twice. Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like he got it a couple times, but I might be misremembering. I'm not sure.
yeah,
But yeah. All right, and then JDG versus KT. Um, JDG ends up taking the series. I believe it was 3-1.
yeah. Three
So
one. Yep.
um, JDG looking pretty strong still. Honestly, I think KT showed a few weaknesses for JDG overall. So other teams can probably look into that series probably if they want to try to topple
Yeah.
JDG, of course. But KT looked
After,
pretty okay, but at the same time they got a little bit stomped in some of the
yeah,
games. So
they won that first game, and
I was like,
I was
okay,
like I was like, okay, I'm ready to get on and be like, hey, remember when I told you I thought KT could like match up really good
yeah,
against JGB? And
yeah,
I think I'm
definitely,
like, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready for it. And then they kind of got stopped the next 3 games. So I was like, okay, never mind. Sounds
yeah.
good.
I
But
don't
at
know what
least like
happened
we
there,
saw a
but
glimpse. We saw a glimpse of kind of what I thought.
mhm.
So yeah, it'll be up to the other teams now to see if they can kind of
Topple the
take what KT
favorites.
exposed and
Yeah,
like run with it maybe.
definitely. And then last but not least, we got LNG versus T1. T1 ends up 3-0ing LNG, by the way.
Yeah,
Uh, what
crazy
was your
actually.
reaction to this one?
Um,
Didn't expect that,
pretty
did you?
crazy. I did not expect it because I actually thought LNG was the favorites here. Um, but T1 like they stomped them. I don't. There's
Yeah.
not too much to say about it other than it was like super convincing and
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't know what happened
I
to LNG, but
I don't know.
they like crumbled. I don't know what happened. Like they only had some like okay positions in the games, but um, T1 just 3-0s them. Like the T1 looked crazy scary. And once again, I vote against T1 once again, and they're already back into semifinals. I swear,
Yeah,
it's so crazy every
I
time.
I will say I think I don't think it's impossible because obviously as we look ahead, T1 is going to play JDG and BLG is going to play Weibo.
Isn't that what
Um,
happened last year too?
yeah, very similar. So I don't think it's impossible that T1 beats JDG. I think JDG is still favored, but there's a shot that T1 can beat them. But I do think people are maybe overreacting because I think KT actually played. I think people look at that first game that KT won,
Hmm.
and they're like, "Oh, JDG doesn't look that strong," and then they look at T1 stomping LNG. But I also think LNG just played kind of bad. So I think that people who are saying T1's like the heavy favorite now are. I think that's a little bit too far. I think
Yeah.
JDG is still the favorite.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like last year,
Yep, last year, yeah, yeah,
they end up 3-1ing JDG, and it's the
yep,
same team for both of them. No, that's not right. Ruler is on JDG now, so it's a little bit different. He's a really good ADC, but yeah. So we'll see what happens. Um, I think they have a definite shot after seeing that series of going to finals for sure. Um, it's gonna be hard to predict this JDG versus T1 game, and I'm pretty
yeah,
sure
yeah.
Billy should defeat Weibo pretty easily, but we'll see. You never know. Xiaohu and the Shy might just put up a fight. We'll see. um, but yeah. Anyways, any final thoughts on these predictions? Let's do predictions also.
Yeah, predictions for me would be hmm. So I think just from all the games they've played, I think the BLG Weibo I think should be like 3-0 BLG. Like
It should be. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure BLG is going to stomp them. I haven't really seen that. Like they played each other a bunch this year, and Billy always kind of comes out ahead.
Okay. Yeah. Good to know. Good to
Um,
know.
so I think BLG is going to beat them 3-0. Um, it's part of me wants to say T1 wins this. Just because they're T1 and
Right.
like you were saying, like you can never count them out. But I'm gonna say 3-2 JDG. Um,
Okay.
Still wins it, but just to show that I think it's gonna be pretty close. I
I
think it's
respect
gonna be
that. I
pretty
respect
close.
that. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be BLG winning over Weibo, but 3-1. I think Weibo
Okay.
might get
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
game in.
We'll get a
Uh,
shy pop off, maybe
yeah,
shy
yeah.
pop
You
off.
never
Yeah.
know. We'll see. Depends on how they draft, I guess.
Sure. Sure.
And then JDG versus T1. You know what? I'm not gonna do it anymore. We're going T1 here. I'll say 3-2. I'll say 3-2, like you said. They're gonna edge it out at the last moment, and everyone's gonna be like, "What the heck?"
Yeah.
And yeah, that might happen.
This
All right.
kind of this kind of feels like maybe the finals in a way because I think
Yeah, pretty
whoever
much.
wins JDG and T1 will be heavy favorites to win
I would say
the
so for
next game.
sure.
So it's
Yeah,
definitely not a match you're going to want to miss.
yeah. Well, also, did what happened at MSI? Didn't
It's really interesting because at MSI, Billy beat T1,
beat T1, right? Yeah, yeah.
but then earlier in this tournament, T1 beat Billy like
Oh,
pretty
yeah,
easily.
yeah. Okay, okay.
So I don't know. I could see that one would be interesting. I think I would have to think about it, but
Yeah,
yeah, it might be. I think it will be Billy versus one of these two teams. So
yeah, for sure.
um,
All right.
yeah,
Well, that's pretty much it for us here. We're gonna be doing some predictions on the finals and just recaps on the semifinals once that happens. We still got a few more days for the semis even start, but yeah, I guess we'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Drew, and we'll catch you in a next one. All right, peace.